Hey guys, SJ from SJ Life Adventure.
Here we are getting ready about a couple of days from my departure for my world tour. This will be the third and last video for the world tour preparation. Within in the background, number one, so we can refresh our mind as well. So I hope you will enjoy the content, the tricks and tips. I will try to describe the way I'm anticipating to do it, how I prepare the trip, and hopefully if some of you guys are anticipating to do that in the near future, this will help you, I hope so. So in this video, this will be breakdown in 4 different sections. The first one is the one I posted last week for the minimal packing list. If you check below, I will insert the link. The second one, very short one about physical conditioning. Yes, since I'm anticipating to do a trek right here on the screen to the base camp of the Annapurnas, you have to be in decent conditions. Or you can be in any conditions, but depend on how easy or how difficult you want to make it. So I will talk a little bit about it. And the main part will be 3 and 4 logistic to organize such a trip. And we'll talk, of course, about budget and expenses. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Build an Excel spreadsheet, actually multiple ones with different tabs. The first section will be the planning, and we'll go to that in detail. We won't review every single thing, or the video will take a couple of hours. The second tab is a minimal packing list, which is in the previous video. So you have all the details about it, and please don't hesitate if you have a request or any comments about it, don't hesitate and put some in the video. Third tab is in regards to sponsors. It's not been extremely successful, though it was a try, why not? And the fourth tab is a dashboard about budget and expense, and mainly about already made expenses, and I will follow up as I'm moving along with my trip, recording all the different expenses so I can track that. So let's go to the planning tab. Try to zoom that out so you guys can have a clear view of few details, and we'll go one section at a time. And let's talk about the first segment of the trip. So if you follow me here, the first, it is about travel advisory. I just wanted to make sure that based on the destination I wanted to stop, based on what I wanted to visit, that I was not putting myself in trouble. You know that certain areas in the world are not very safe. I checked the travel advisory of all the different 13 destinations I wanted to go in. And they're all within the 1 or 2, which is decent. You just have to be careful and be neutral about what you're doing, saying, and how you're acting. So I'm not forecasting any trouble on that side. And actually, I was surprised that some of them are actually safer than others. But I won't go into too much details about it. So then C and D, we're talking about a country, we're talking about a city, you know, like the first segment will be going to Beijing in China. Second section or segment will be Hong Kong in China, third one Hanoi in Vietnam, and so forth. I will talk about my color coding, disregarded for the column C and D, but I will explain how I did that and why there is so much green. Then column E, right here, carry on size and weight. I checked, and that's what I would advise to anybody doing that. For each destination, check the size, the weight, and your allowance with each company that you're flying with. They're all different. And generally, it is pretty comfortable with everything that is US, like Delta Airlines, United, and such. China is not too bad. Asia. As soon as you start going into the European countries, those countries, they're a lot less. You start getting into that 15 pounds range. Some like Prague, Ural Airlines, it's only 5 kilograms. I still don't know what I'm going to do, but I will certainly need to check in my carry-on. Because if you look at my minimal packing list, all I'm taking is a carry-on and a little handbag with my laptop. Next one, flight seat. Nothing crazy about it. I anticipated and put all my reservation number and the seats when I had some that were already reserved. Some of them I can't because they're low-cost carrier, like you can see here, and it's only a last-minute assignment directly at the airport. Then we have the date, not many details about it, number of days, number of nights that I will spend in each countries, so I know how many nights I need to reserve or book if I want to pre-book those nights, which I did for most of them. The currency and the rate, you know, it's a lot easier to be aware of that prior to your trip and also during your trip, so you know that every price advertised, you know what the actual rate is into your country unit, so you know how much it is going to cost you. Then, and this is where we're going to spend a little bit more time, the visa is something that is pretty critical. You want to be very careful. Some of the countries you don't need any visa, some you do. Some you will need to get them prior to your trip, no matter what, and some you can directly start that process at the airport. First one in Beijing, because of the number of days I'm going to stay over there, this is less than 144 hours because I spent 3 days over there. Realistically, 2 visiting the country. So if you're less than 6 days, it is visa-free upon arrival. You still have to prepare that at the airport. I'm not fully familiar. I have the procedure. I got a screenshot of that. And I will discover that actually in a couple of days, and hopefully it will be very smooth. You see the next destination, Hong Kong, you don't need any visa. Vietnam, you can apply online. That generally you do that on the spot over there. I've seen you could do it online. I did, and I thought it will replace the visa process in Hanoi, and to what I know, it does not. It's just an additional. So basically, I could have avoided that. It was an extra fee of $17, but I have a pre-approval letter, and apparently it will make that a lot easier and a lot faster at the airport in Vietnam to get my visa. Nothing required in Thailand. You need one in Kathmandu. I've done that country last year. It is a pretty easy and pretty quick process. All they want is your cash. The next one is Delhi. I will discover that, but I pre-applied online and they will process my visa. It looks like it's pretty smooth. It was a total of $61, $26 and $35. It's not too expensive, but apparently I will not pay anything in Dubai. We'll see. Egypt, it is an easy one for a 30-day tourist visa for $25. And Russia is the one that is first expensive and complicated to get. So you can find, check on YouTube, you can find many different videos about KD Mid. I will put the link as well. This is a website to use. You have many different websites. You won't save a penny going from one to another. I checked everything I could. So basically, it was a total of $318 for the application of the visa. considering that it is $160 for the visa by itself, no matter how long. If you get a 3-day visa, a transit visa, 1 month, 1 year visa, it is $160 for US citizen, and it's a lot cheaper in other countries. It's half the price, about $80 for European. You apply online, and then you have to send your application, your passport, a picture, and many different things to the embassy in US to get your visa, and hopefully you get it back on time. I did. I'm very happy about it. I had a little glitch during the process where I had to adjust some information. That was not too complicated. And then you also need an invitation letter, which I just needed right here, and I had to pay. It's different, but it's always in the same price range, within like $15 to $25. For me, it was 19 and 17 cents with a change and a rate of Russia. And this is basically, it can be done by different organisms. I had to book my hotel and ask my hotel to get an invitation letter. And they give you an invitation letter with a voucher number. This is what you need to send to the embassy. And this is the only way they will give you your visa. So a little bit painful of a process, especially when you're going like less than 3 days in a country. It is expensive and painful, but doing a world tour, you know, I'm ready to pay the price, but I wanted to stop over there. There are a few things I want to see. It's a lifetime opportunity. Other countries, you know, Prague, you see in that section, you don't need a visa as long as your passport has at least 3 months before it expires. France, London, Reykjavik, either. So those countries are pretty easy to visit. Next sections are the lodging. So I put some notes about it. Based on the country, most of everywhere, you can find very, very decent pricing for lodging, depending on your standards. So I will go from sleeping in a capsule to sleeping in a dormitory, from having my own room. And I also have some other properties that are actually, because I was lucky to be able to use some points. In Dubai, I would have some 4 and 5 stars hotel that will be a pretty fancy. But others will be a lot less. That's not the purpose of my trip. The purpose of my trip is proving myself and also proving others that we can do a trip for a cost that is affordable and live that lifetime experience, you know, because it's very important. We only have one life. We need to enjoy it. This is something that was on my bucket list. This is something that I want to do. Next section, transportation. I did do a video, you can find that on my channel, about transportation and using Google Maps. I use that many times, especially in Japan. Google Maps is just a treasure. You can even download files in advance so that you can use those maps offline in case you don't have access to Wi-Fi, 3G, LTE and such with your carrier. This has been very convenient, and this is very, very needed in many locations, and especially in Beijing actually. Again, my stepsister just called me this morning and told me, make sure you download a VPN because you won't be able to access anything in China unless you have a VPN app, and actually multiple VPN apps, because they're limited per data size transfer, you know, megaoctet. So I won't go in details, but you can see I inserted few information, everything that is in green. By the way, I said I will talk about it. This was to validate every cell, to say, okay, I did make some research, I know what I want to do, and I'm feeling comfortable with information I found. So now I'm ready to go in that country. Before reaching each destination, of course, I will have to refresh my mind and make sure I'm on top of it. But everything that is in green was just to confirm and remind me that I have made some research about it, about the pricing, about what to do, where to go, and I'm feeling pretty comfortable with it. The next one, vaccine. This is an important category, I would say as important as the visa, because that should be on your priority list if you're doing such trip, for your preparation of your trip. Because that, no matter what, once you get in the country, if you're not ready for it, then you're toast. You know, you could be stopped and not being able to enter the country because you don't have a medical certificate stating that you've been getting your vaccine for such and such disease. For the different destinations that I've done, it was not too intense. I'm not going in South America, and as far as I know, this is one of the most complicated ones that you have no choice of getting some of them. Mine were more like recommended. So I'm up to date. You see that some are highlighted in different color, like hepatitis A and B, MMR, which is on top, measles, mumps, and rubella, the Tdap. Those are some good refresher vaccine that you can get, and also for your own self. You know, if you want to make sure that your body is ready to go through such trip.